Okay, I did want to cover a couple more examples in section 1.2 and 1.3, mostly 1.3 to cover some of the division issues that we may have or questions that may come up. So I want to do an example where if I give you 1 over 5x equals 11. If I give you a problem like this is a division problem, and again, we're going to use inverse operations. Well, the key is to get rid of this 1 over 5x. Okay, well, how can you get rid of 1 over 5? 1 over 5 means 1 divided by 5. This is a fraction times a variable. Well, we have two ways that we could do this problem. You could actually divide both sides by 1 over 5. Now, to me, this is just a mess, though. Okay, I have 1 over 5 divided by 1 over 5. Well, that side's pretty easy because this just cancels out and would give me x. This side here becomes a little bit more tricky. We have now an improper fraction, 11 divided by 1 over 5. And if I were to use my calculator, I would have to make sure that I entered everything in there correctly. I would have to make sure that I enter 11 divided by, and then I have to use parentheses, 1 divided by 5. So it's not a huge deal, but you have to make sure that this is in parentheses, because if it's not, it would end up giving you the incorrect answer. Okay, and we end up getting x is equal to 55. If you saw it on the calculator, again, x is equal to 55 right here. So again, that's using the calculator, and you have to make sure that you use the correct buttons. Now, if I had 1 over 5x equals 11, I can do a different thing where now I can probably just use my head. If I want to get rid of 1 over 5, this is a division problem, 1 over 5, so there must be some sort of inverse operation that I could use to get rid of it, and there is. I can multiply by the reciprocal. Again, the reciprocal is just a fraction flipped, so I can multiply both sides by 5 over 1, and again, what does 5 over 1 equal? 5 over 1 is just 5, and I get x equals 55. Okay, so it's up to you. You can divide both sides by that fraction. I discourage that. I don't think you should do that because look at the mess it gives you over here. 11 divided by 1 divided by 5, which is again 11 divided by 1/5, which you can use your calculator for, but again, it gives you that ugly mess. Okay, I just want to do one more example like that, and then we will be done with 1.2 and 1.3. So, if I gave you a problem that was, instead of putting a 1 there, what if I put a 2 over 7x is equal to 10. Well, in this case, now I don't have a 1 here. So again, I could divide both sides by 2 over 7, and you would end up with the same exact answer. But I can multiply by the reciprocal. So here, I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. And again, why do I multiply by the reciprocal? Well, the goal is to get the x all by itself, or the variable by itself. And what happens when you multiply a fraction by its reciprocal? Notice what happens. It cancels out and leaves you with just x, because 7 times 2 is 14. 2 times 7 is 14. 14 over 14 is 1. Remember, there's that 1 in front of the variable. Equals, well, if I multiply the left side by 7 over 2, I have to multiply the right side by 7 over 2. And again, how do you multiply fractions? Well, the number 10 isn't a fraction, but I can make it a fraction by putting a 1 over it. So I get x is equal to 10 times 7 is 70. I just multiply the top by the top, divide that by 2, and I get x is equal to, what is 70 divided by 2? It's 35. And again, in all these answers, you can go back and check. But I just wanted to show you that if you have a division problem, you can multiply by the reciprocal. Okay, can you use your calculator? Absolutely. Again, I had this problem here. It's 7 over 2. I could have divided this by 7, or by 2 over 7. So I could have taken 10 divided by, and again, make sure you use your parentheses, divided by 2 over 7. Close the parentheses. Notice I still get the same answer of 35. So it's really up to you. But I wanted to make sure I clarified that we don't always have to have our calculator. It's pretty much easier to just multiply both sides by the reciprocal.